What up, y'all? Texas Roots and Fruits. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I got another video for you guys today. We are going to be finally repotting my coconut cream. So, if you guys don't know, a little bit of background on the coconut cream. It's, I believe, the only patented mango variety, or one of the only. So, this is a super good variety. I've done a taste video on them. The taste video was overall a success. I was a lot more hints of coconut than I expected, to be honest. Although I think I had 4 or 5 mangoes and I could really only taste the coconut and I think 3 of them, but maybe my taste buds aren't refined, but still a really good tasting mango. And so I've been wanting to put this in a pot for a long time, just finally getting around to it after potting all my other trees. And this one is in a big, I think, 7-gallon, so it had plenty of room to grow for a while. So we're gonna get right into it. You guys, I know I've already done potting videos on my mangoes, but I just want to keep you guys up to date on everything I do. So just as I always tell you guys, on these whiskey barrels, I would recommend these, because look at, I mean, instead of the plastic barrels, these have drainage all along the sides and can get air, so your plants aren't gonna, theoretically get waterlogged. So I really like these. Yes, they're a little expensive. They're like 90 bucks. But if you can afford to get one of these, I don't know, I think they're really good, and they're big. They can stay in here for a really long time. But like I always say, make sure you drill the holes in the bottom. I do 1/2 inch holes on the bottom just for super good drainage, and I do them all over the place. So next we are going to mix the soil and get the soil ready for it. And what we're going to do is, just like on my last ones, all my mangoes are loving the soil mix that I've done. If you guys have a different soil mix, leave it down below. But this is what I'm doing, and this has worked for me. So it's going to be 2 bags of sand, just your all-purpose sand, and 2 bags of the cactus soil. Now with this one, there is gonna not be as much of this mixture, just because the plant and the pot's a little bigger and already has a bunch of soil, but it still will have a good amount. But that's the ratio I'm doing. And then obviously I'm gonna do a little bit of compost on top. So I'm gonna start mixing this soil off camera, and when I get it mixed, I'll show you guys that, and then I'll show you guys the next step. So we'll be right back at you. All right, y'all, check it out. This is what it should look like, for better or for worse. I mixed it just by hand. Some people have mixing tools and stuff like that, but I think for what I'm doing and using for, I think this is pretty good. I know it's kind of shaded here, but you just want to make sure that the sand is really mixed really well with the citrus cactus soil. So I like this stuff because obviously cactus and stuff, they're desert plants, they don't need a ton of water, they like good drainage as well. So this is what I would recommend if you're keeping your mangoes in pots and you don't have good soil. Maybe you could, for your yard, like if you're planting it in ground, you could also amend your soil with some of this stuff too to help out. Like my soil super clay heavy, so if I were to ever put a mango in ground, I would really need to dig out around the tree and really start amending the soil, because the soil here sucks for mangoes. So but yeah, so this is it. I'm gonna clear out a hole in here because the mango tree is already pretty big, and I am going to, don't forget, I always use this stuff. Where is it? Gotta use the mycorrhizal stuff here. Let me open this for you guys in case you haven't seen the other videos. I love this stuff. I would recommend it. I put this in everything that I put in a new pot. Just helps with root growth and everything, and I think it's helped every single one of my trees. So I'm going to keep using it, and I'm going to make sure and put some of that in the hole and around the base of the tree. So I'm going to get the tree set up and we'll be back. All right, y'all, again, I messed up the video somehow. I think I accidentally ended the video instead of pausing it. So I'm gonna have to splice these together so you guys may see something weird. But I got the tree in the hole. As you can see, there's a couple roots here. If you can see, yeah, right there. So, but not like crazy. Right here, there's a root. So there was still plenty of room kind of to grow in here. There's some on the bottom here, but there's still plenty of room in there, but I just want to get it in its home for a while, and this spot will be sufficient for quite a long time. So if you've seen other videos, people have big old mango trees in like 25-gallon pots, which is just basically equivalent to. So I'm gonna get this dirt and this tree situated in this hole. Obviously, always make sure that you get your tree standing straight up, nice and looking good, and however you want to place it, because once it's in there, it's in there. So I'm gonna get that set up and we'll be back. All right, guys, got it pretty situated well. Check it out. Obviously the top is a little crooked, but that's because just how it's growing. But overall, it's pretty straight. I am going to, sorry, it's freaking early and my brain's not working. I'm going to add a top layer of compost, and like I've been doing in all my newest videos, I've been adding the compost on top. I don't know, I think it's the way to go. I've seen comments about it, it makes sense. Basically, I've said this already, but putting the compost on top, because compost, once it starts getting wet and it starts getting really hard and compacted. So the idea is to put it on top. That way the water will kind of fight through in the beginning, but then drain really well out after that. So plus I have all the holes and on the side, so water can come out, you know, and out of all of this. But that's kind of the idea behind it, and it seems to be working because all my other trees are really happy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the compost surrounded around here, and you guys can see the tree is above the pot. All this is gonna sink down. I could have dug it a little deeper, but it'll be fine. This is eventually all gonna shift down anyways, so, and then I'll add some more mulch. But we're gonna put the compost in, and then next will be mulch. All right, y'all, got the compost in. It's really just a very thin layer of compost. Remember, guys, mangoes are not heavy feeders. So it's not like avocados. Avocados are heavy feeders. Mangoes are not heavy feeders. They don't need a ton, and like they need nutrients, but they don't need a ton of compost. They don't need super rich soil. So just keep that in mind. That's why I did my mix kind of, you know, up to here with just the cactus soil and the sand, and then the rest compost. And then I'm going to do some mulch here, some natural mulch, put that on top, and then once it sinks down within, you know, a couple days or two, I'll add some more mulch on top. But obviously you will have to fertilize these, you know, in the future, but just keep in mind they don't need a ton of fertilizer. So I'm going to add the mulch and we should be pretty much good to go. All right, y'all, check it out. We got a good layer of mulch for now, and then I'll add more later. But you just want to make sure you get a really thick layer of mulch, keep that moisture in. But yeah, this is the final product. I'm obviously going to water it. I did want to say, guys, on the coconut cream, I will tell you this is not really the ideal tree to keep in pot super long term, but I just had to have it because it's coconut cream and it's one of the most famous mangoes. So I just really had to buy it. So, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, when we got to plant this thing. But still, this thing can live in here for a very long time. And with our conditions in the winter in 9A, Central Texas, it isn't always ideal. So I think overall we have mild winters, but there's literally just a couple weeks or a couple weekends that freeze. So I really can't do it right now. You know, the weather is kind of changing, but it'd probably be longer than I would want. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you don't have any space, there's plenty of other varieties for you to keep in pots that are more of the dwarf varieties. You can see here, I mean, look how big these leaves are, right? These are super big leaves. So you got to assume the tree's probably going to be pretty big, would be kind of my guess. So, and from what I've seen, they can get big, but still, it's cool. This tree is awesome. It's a big size, and hopefully, I don't know, probably not next year, maybe the year after, we can get some fruit. But coconut cream has been known to be stubborn while fruiting and can take a while, so I'm not holding my breath or anything like that. But it's a beautiful tree, and I'm super excited to have it, and I'll keep you guys up to date. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys learned something. I got some taste videos coming up. I got some stuff coming in the mail, so you guys stay tuned for that, and have a good weekend. Texas Roots and Fruits out.